Botswana nearly destroyed the 4x400 world record in front of its own crowd. 2 minutes, 54.47 seconds flashed on the clock. That was only 18 hundredths from a record set by an American super team in 1993. But the wildest part came after the race. The split times may have made the night even crazier than it really was. Botswana did not just win the men's 4x400 meters at the World Athletics Relays. It turned the whole stadium into a world record watch. The final time was 2:54.47, a championship record, a national record, and the third fastest men's 4x400 meter relay ever run. The world record is 2:54.29. The United States set it in 1993 with Andrew Valmon, Quincy Watt, Butch Reynolds, and Michael Johnson. That team was full of 400-meter legends. For more than 3 decades, nobody had touched that mark. Then Botswana came within 0.18 seconds. That is the kind of gap fans can feel but barely see. One cleaner exchange. One sharper final bend. One less wide step. That could have been enough. South Africa finished second in 2:55.07, a national record. For one lap after another, the 4x400 suddenly felt like the most dangerous event in track. The setting made the race feel even bigger. This was not a neutral stadium with polite applause. This was Gaborone, Botswana. With the home team carrying the loudest hopes in the building, Botswana already had real sprint power. Lythe Tebogo had become an Olympic 200-meter champion. Colin Kebinachipi was part of the new 400-meter wave. Bayapo Ndori had championship pedigree. Lythe gave them a strong opening leg. That mix matters in the 4x400. A relay team needs more than one superstar. It needs 4 runners who can survive pressure, exchange cleanly, and keep the race alive. Botswana had enough quality to make the dream real. The crowd gave them fuel, but the pressure was heavy too. Running at home sounds perfect, but it can also tighten a team. Every mistake becomes public. Every exchange feels bigger. Botswana did not fold. It ran the kind of race that made the old world record feel vulnerable for the first time in years. The middle of the race is where the chaos began. Botswana had Lythe Tebogo on the second leg, a man known for frightening relay speed. But South Africa had Lythe Pillay waiting, and that leg became one of the biggest talking points of the entire meet. Pillay was listed with a 42.66 split. That number immediately exploded across the track world because it was faster than Michael Johnson's famous 42.94 relay split from 1993. Reece Holder of Australia was also listed with a huge 43.12 leg, while Tebogo still ran a strong split, but suddenly looked like he had been hunted down by 2 men at once. On video, Pillay clearly ran a monster leg. He closed hard, moved South Africa into the fight, and changed the race. In an open 400, the clock starts with the gun and ends at the finish line. In a relay, split timing depends on where the baton is judged to pass, and when each runner is considered to have started and finished the leg. That can get messy. The baton exchange happens inside a moving zone. Runners are accelerating. Officials and timing systems have to judge the handoff point. A small difference in where the exchange is marked can change a split by tenths. That does not mean Pillay was slow. He was clearly brilliant. It does not mean Holder was fake. He was clearly flying. It means the exact split numbers should be treated with care. The final team times are official. Botswana's 2:54.47 is real. The leg splits are useful, but they are not as clean as an individual race time. That is the honest tension. The race was historic. The split list may be more chaotic than people want to admit. By the final leg, the race had become almost impossible to look away from. Botswana, South Africa, and Australia were still close enough that one runner could change everything. For Botswana, Kebinachipi had the job of closing at home. That is a brutal place to be. If he wins, the country erupts. If he fades, the whole dream collapses in front of the loudest crowd of his life. He delivered. Australia's Aidan Murphy tried to stay in the fight. South Africa's Zakithi Nene was still dangerous, but Kebinachipi held his nerve and drove Botswana toward the line. The home crowd saw the clock and knew it was not only a win. It was close to something far bigger, 2:54.47. For a few seconds, the stadium had to process it. Botswana had not broken the world record, but it had reached a place only the 1993 and 2024 United States teams had ever gone faster. That is why the finish felt like both celebration and warning. The 1993 US world record has stood so long because it was built by one of the greatest relay groups ever assembled. Michael Johnson, Quincy Watts, Butch Reynolds, and Andrew Valmon were not just good runners. They were giants of the 400-meter world. That is why getting within 0.18 seconds is so serious. Botswana did not chase some soft record. It chased a mark from a golden American team that still looks terrifying on paper. The 4x400 world record is hard because all four legs must work. One athlete can run a monster split, but that is not enough. The exchanges must be clean. The pacing must be right. The anchor must finish under pressure. The team has to avoid traffic, panic, and wasted meters. Botswana nearly had all of it. That is what makes this result feel different from a normal national record. It looked like a team on the edge of breaking one of track's strongest relay marks. The honest view is important. Botswana nearly broke the world record, but nearly is still not the same as breaking it. The record survived. The meet was also held at altitude in Gaborone, around 1,000 meters above sea level. The 400 meters still lives close enough to sprinting that this can matter. It does not make the times fake, but it is part of the context. The split chaos also needs caution. Relay splits have always had a gray area because of the moving baton. So the fair conclusion is this: the team times were historic and fully serious. The split times were thrilling, but not perfect proof of individual 400-meter ability. That makes the story stronger, not weaker. It means the race was both amazing and messy, which is how great relay history actually feels. South Africa's 2:55.07 was a national record, putting the team into rare history. The 4x400 suddenly has more countries with real teeth. Can Botswana finish the job? They were 0.18 seconds away from the world record. That is painful but exciting. It means the 1993 mark is alive and has footsteps behind it. Botswana has the talent and home proof. With cleaner exchanges and one perfect day, 2:54.29 can fall. When a record looks vulnerable, the world builds toward it. Gaborone made the men's 4x400 feel like a chase again. The final gave us a home victory, historic national records, wild splits, and a near-world record time. It was fast enough to scare history and messy enough to keep fans arguing. Botswana is now the second fastest 4x400 nation ever, but South Africa and Australia made them earn every meter. The next time Botswana gets a perfect race, the oldest American relay fortress may finally crack.